Welcome to Reading into Android with Now in Android, where we explore Android design principles. In this series, we'll use Now in Android to learn best practices in Android development. In this video, we'll learn about the domain layer of Now in Android. First, let's review what the domain layer is. The domain layer is the layer located between the UI layer and the data layer. This layer is used only when necessary. In Now in Android, we only use the domain layer when retrieving followed topics or search results. Let's look at the components and roles of the domain layer. The domain layer mainly consists of use cases that handle single functions. These use cases can be combined and used as needed. The role of the domain layer is to commonize processing that is reused across multiple UI layers. In Now in Android, use cases are created for this purpose. Use cases are also added to encapsulate complex processing. Let's look at the benefits of creating a domain layer. First, it reduces code duplication. In Now in Android, the process of obtaining search results, which is called in each screen, is consolidated into a single use case to reduce duplication. Another benefit is encapsulating complex processing. Keeping classes small makes it easier to modify code. Okay, here's the translation of the Japanese text. Now, let's look at an implementation example of an actual use case. This use case generates search results, taking into account bookmark and follow information acquired from the user data repository. This use case is called during searches on each screen. Because the use case is responsible for only one function, it has only one externally callable function. By defining an invoke function using the operator modifier, we make it possible to call the class itself as a function. Finally, let's discuss some design considerations when using the domain layer. When introducing a domain layer, you should carefully consider whether the UI layer should directly access the data layer. The benefit of a policy where you access the data layer via the domain layer is that you can maintain a consistent architecture. On the other hand, a design that *always* goes through the domain layer requires creating use cases even for simple function calls in the data layer. This can lead to an increase in classes that don't serve a substantial purpose. You should consider these pros and cons and choose an appropriate policy. Now in Android accesses the data layer via the domain layer only when necessary. The official documentation also recommends this policy.